Hi, welcome to the Freeze Dry Business channel. My name is David. I'm an owner of a freeze dry business in Idaho. If you are starting a freeze dry business or you're currently operating one, this channel is for you. All of the content that I'm producing is really just to provide you more information about how to start a freeze dry business, what we're seeing in the current market, and how to do different types of freeze drying so that it can help you in your bottom line and grow your business. In today's video, we're going to talk about Harvest Right's recent announcement about an extra large freeze dryer that is currently available for all of us to purchase. It can do double the capacity of the large freeze dryer, which is huge for a freeze dry business. I'm going to go through their spec sheet so that we know exactly what's included in this extra large freeze dryer. And I found out some additional information about the extra large freeze dryer from Harvest Right directly that you wanted answered. So let's get started with this video. I'm going to share with you the spec sheet that Harvest Right sent me about the extra large freeze dryer. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to walk through the PDF of all the different dimensions and specifications for this. We're going to compare it also to the large freeze dryer that we're accustomed using today and see how they match up. So let's take a look. All right, so this is the spec sheet that Harvest Right sent me. And I also have the harvestright.com website open so we can look to see how it compares to the large that we're all accustomed to. Now, aesthetically and visually, Harvest Right really didn't do too much aesthetically to the change of the extra large. It really looks much similar. The difference is it does have 6 trays. And one of the things I wanted to know is how big these trays are. Are they bigger? I was kind of curious because I was wondering if wow, is this going to have more trays? And they weren't going to change much about the actual machine dimensions, but no, they did. So the tray dimensions are roughly 11 inches wide and 30 inches deep are the trays. Now let's see how that compares to the large freeze dryer that we're accustomed to. As you can see right here, there's 5 trays in this one. Wow, 2 inches additional width for the trays of this extra large. And we're gonna get almost 10 more inches. Well, we are gonna, almost 10 more inches deep for this extra large freeze dryer. That's phenomenal. So really, it's not going to change in terms of the big, huge size, but man, lengthways, it's definitely going to be a bigger machine, but 6 trays, and then we're going to get a huge amount of more depth and width for our trays to put more food on there. Now the warranty stays the same at 3 years. I remember 2 years ago, I thought that it was about a 1-year warranty for my machine. I could be wrong on that. And it was 6 months for the pump. Now things have changed, and so if you're a recent buyer of a Harvest Right freeze dryer, you may be accustomed to that 3-year, but I was not. I could be wrong though. Now, in terms of power, I did confirm this with Harvest Right. It is going to run off the same type of dedicated 20 amp circuit that we're accustomed to with the large. So it's not going to be like the medium and small where it can run off a regular breaker and an outlet. It does have to run off that 20 amp circuit, but there's no additional requirement that has changed. They're not like Apple where they make you buy a brand new lightning cord and chargers and all that type of stuff. So that's great news. Shipping, I did confirm it's free shipping right now. $500 off that $5,000 price right now through the end of the month. So that's great. Now, when it comes to the pump, it is going to be a premium pump. So again, you're changing probably every 15, 20, 25 batches, but this is going to be a much larger pump. The CFM on this is, I believe, 10 CFM, which is the amount of pressure, versus the large pump is currently at 7. So it's just a bigger pump, going to have to require more output to run that machine at the extra large point of view. So definitely just keep that in mind. Total dimensions, I do think this is going to be obviously a little bit wider than that. So let's take a look at the inches. Yep, overall dimensions with the Harvest Right is for the large is 21 by 27 by 31. Yeah, so about 2 inches wider. So yeah, it's just going to be a little bit bigger. But overall, I think the dimensions look great. Biggest changes is going to be a larger pump. It's still going to be the premium, which is great, so you don't have to do as many oil changes. Great news on the dedicated 20 amp circuit. You don't have to actually dedicate anything differently now, just the same as your large. And then the biggest point, yeah, right here is going to be the trays. So the tray dimensions, 6 trays, 10 more inches wide, 2 more, and 2 more inches wide, and then 10 inches deep on those trays. All right, so we just took a look at the spec sheet. I'm pretty impressed so far with the amount of modifications they've made for this extra large freeze dryer. I can definitely see how this is an improvement from the large freeze dryer, given the capacity of the trays, now that you have more room to put more food on there, and there's 6 trays to do. All right, so what did Harvest Right say when I talked to them about some of the questions that you had that you wanted answered about this extra large freeze dryer? One of your questions was, what are the expected batch times for this extra large freeze dryer? And the answer was nothing. They're actually going to be the same exact dry times because they hadn't changed anything. So there's not going to be longer dry times. There's not going to be longer freeze times. It's equipped to do exactly the same batch times. And I even asked them, you know, my fruit, if I max the capacity 12 to 14 pounds in my large of, let's say, strawberries or pineapple, things like that, it's taking between 36 to 48 hours. And they told me that's what you should expect for the extra large freeze dryer, the same amount of dry time if you're maxing out the capacity as well. So really good news there. Somebody asked about how many trays. 6 trays are going to be there. Also, are there going to be any additional accessories for the extra large freeze dryer, like the mats and the lids? You know what they said is, give us a couple months. We just came out with this machine, so the timeline for when they're going to come out with the different accessories probably is going to be a couple months from now, but they did say they will have all the available accessories that you're accustomed to with the other sizes further down the line. Now, will it run off the same software version as the large? And they said yes, it will run off the same software. Now, someone asked also, because they were in a more like high humidity and high heat area of the country, you know, is the heat going to be an issue with longer run times with the new extra large freeze dryer? And the answer is yes. It will pull more heat because it's a larger freeze dryer. So it should be expected that you'll have to cool off that machine if you're in a high temperature area, high humidity. Definitely if you've got fans going, and I'm accustomed to that too. So yeah, we're going to have to accommodate for the higher heat for this machine. All right, so some questions that I had with them was, you know, is there a large expected to be decreased or discounted in the future? Right now they're saying that the prices are going to remain the same. I also asked if they're going to work out some type of trade, because it doesn't hurt to ask that. They did say, no, that's going to complicate too many things on their end, so just use the exchanges and Facebook and things like that to sell your large freeze dryer. All right, so I hope I answered some of your questions about the extra large freeze dryer. I got to go through the spec sheet as well as answering some of your questions that you had asked from the short that I posted last week. I think this is really great news for freeze-dried business owners just like me and everyone here. Though the big benefits for this extra large freeze dryer, in my opinion, is definitely the same amount of dry time with larger and double the amount of product that you can put in the freeze dryer. That's huge for all of us. The price point, I think, is pretty fair, $5,000 for the double the capacity. I mean, the large freeze dryer right now is running around $3,500, and that's if you're not advancing to the oilless pump. So about $1,500 more to do double. That's huge. Secondly, you don't have to change out the outlet from the large 20 amp dedicated circuit that we all have. So that's great news too. I think the only downside to the extra large freeze dryer is that it's just going to pull more heat. We're definitely going to have to find ways to keep the climate control under control, you know, and make sure that this heat doesn't impact the dry times and all those different type of error messages that we're accustomed to when it gets to a high temperature. Overall, this is a great announcement by Harvest Right. I think it's definitely a game changer. I know there are other freeze drying manufacturers that are coming out, and I think that's really exciting to have different varieties of competition and different choices. But for Harvest Right to come out with this initial one that has double the capacity, Huge game changer. Well, that's a wrap on this video. I hope this was informative for you about this extra large freeze dryer that Harvest Right came out with. This is a huge game changer, and I hope it excited you for your business and that you look into this extra large freeze dryer for your business, because this is really big in terms of the extra capacity they could do with the same amount of dry time. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to join our community and be notified of more videos that I come out with, hit the subscribe button, as well as leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like more information on from a variety of different things, either about machines or about how to do something. I'd love to hear from you. And also check out more of my videos. I've got how-to videos on ice cream, from fruit and candies, things like that. Have a great day. We hope to see you back here again soon. See ya.